Trading Nut, episode 176.
Most traders, they have a strategy, they're backtested it, but it's not enough. For example, if you're a support trader trading a bullish engulfing at support and you've backtested it, the risk reward is X amount and the win rate is X amount. But then you go to trade in the live markets and all of a sudden you've got fear, you've got hesitation, you don't feel confident, but you still take it because it's part of your rules. But the reason for that is because you haven't really backtested it. So what I mean by that is you need to backtest all the variables of how does price approach your support? Is there a consolidation range before the bullish engulfing? How big is it bullish engulfing? How big is the pin bar? Is there a bit of a fake out? What time of the day are you trading? What currency pairs works best with it? What's the distance between the bullish engulfing and the support or the range? And then once you got all this data out and all the different variables of engulfings, whether it's a big one, a small one with a large wick, you need to basically filter everything out and just stick to the one that is really high profitable and just trade that one.
The market's going to do something. Your job is not to fight it.
The market never, ever runs away. It's always there.
That personal diary of trading will make you a much better trader than...
I could be right about the direction, but wrong about the trade.
Don't focus on the monetary side.
Trying to make too much money on a trade is what I have seen killed every trader.
Your losses offer you some of the greatest insight you can find into your mistakes.
Relax, learn the process.
Candlestick pattern trading is a freaking trap.
Don't be in a rush to become a millionaire.
Let the market tell you what the market wants to tell you.
This podcast is not financial, trading, or investing advice of any kind. What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the Trading Nut podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we've got Diego Torres in the house. Now, Diego, if you're thinking this name sounds familiar, it is because it should be. He is Rodrigo Torres' cousin, and in fact, he actually trained up Rodrigo to some degree. And you may have seen him on the Trading Nut live streams here in the past few weeks. So these guys are now doing a London session and a New York session live stream here on the channel with their unique take on smart money concepts trading. They've called it bank level trading. So this is their unique take on it, extensively backtested, and it gives them the ability to grab like a 10-hour trade pretty much every day. So guys, yeah, that's actually over on the live stream, but today you're going to hear Diego's story, and this guy has done it all. He has been through the entire industry, almost the entire industry of trading, probably a career track record that most of us would love to have, be it prop trading firms, trading on the floor there, hedge funds, creating his own hedge fund, and now he works over there at CTI or City Traders Imperium as a portfolio manager. And I say works, he's one of the traders over there. Now, yeah, so you're going to get to hear his story today. Then after the show, we jumped on and got him to record a little video about him predicting a trade, and he was looking for, I think it was 8R on the trade with a possible 28R win on that trade. So we're going to see the before and after. So I haven't seen the after yet. I've seen the before. So we're going to get him to walk through both sides of it. Did it work out? Did it not work out? How did he get into it if he did? All right. So other things going on here at Trading Nut. We've still got the Trading Nut Funded Cup running. The leader is at 64% with only a few more days left to go in this cup. I think second place is around about the 50%. So it looks like he's going to take it. Guys, if you do want to subscribe to June's competition, you're going to hear about that in a second. Other things going on here at Trading Nut, we've got the live stream still running. We've got them almost every single day of the week now, and some fantastic traders on there. So if you guys are looking for that support whilst you're in the markets, then definitely hit subscribe on the YouTube channel to check out those live streams. And we've got more traders coming as well. So I've got potentially a couple more traders coming on these live streams here. The idea is that we can cover your trading week here at Trading Nut. Last but not least, before we get into it, Robot Builders Club is still open. If you're looking to automate some or all of what you do, I can teach you how to do that without doing any coding at all, and you can pretty much build out whatever you can dream up. So if you want to find out more about that, find the link underneath the video here or head over to tradingnut.com. There's a free robot there that you can download and a little bit of a mini course there you can go through where I teach you a few things around building these robots and backtesting them. All right, guys, enough from me. Let's get on with the show with Diego. Folks, if you missed out on joining the Trading Nut Funded Cup, don't worry. With over 3,000 traders registered, my sponsors City Traders Imperium have decided to run another, but this time they've promised the prizes will be even bigger and better. Folks, if you want to register for this and show your skills as a trader, click on the link above or the link below the video or in the podcast description, then sign up for free before 15th of June 2022 and get 10% off any City Traders Imperium product just for entering the competition. Good luck, folks, and we'll see you in the cup. Righty-ho, folks, here we are on Trading Up. We've got Diego Torres in the house. Now, if you do recognize him, it's because he is actually featured on some of the live streams here on Trading Up. He is the cousin of Rodrigo Torres, who's been on the show before and works at City Traders Imperium as a portfolio manager, amongst other things. So welcome to the show, Diego.
Thank you, Cam. Thank you for having me.
Look, it's fantastic to get you on because I did get a snippet of your story when you did your first live stream, and I was like, actually, that's a really, really awesome story because I thought Rodrigo's was pretty good, but yours is even better. And because I think you trained him up, didn't you?
Yeah, in the beginning, after I did a course, I showed him some tricks, but it's not enough just to show somebody the very basics of trading. So we got a personal, it's a tough journey for an individual.
Okay, cool. Well, look, guys, we're going to get Diego's. I'm going to call you Rodrigo.
Yeah, don't worry. It's very common. We get it confused.
I'm going to get Diego's full story now. So, how did you get into trading and how did it all start?
Okay, where do I start? So it all started in 2014. So in 2014, I graduated from university. I'd done moving image and animation, and that I was not passionate with that whatsoever because I did sort of foresee the future, and I thought, hold on a minute, if I'm doing media, film production, for me to make a decent living, it's going to take me a few years of doing freelance work and just start from the bottom, like any other business, right? And after you leave university, when you go to these media companies, they're going to ask you, have you got experience? But how am I going to have experience when I just graduated and I've just been studying? So I thought, it's just going to take too long. Then I was sort of researching, okay, how can I sort of make money on the internet or sort of businesses I can do? And I saw that one of my friends on Instagram, she just had a post saying, I just made a couple grand this week after trading. I was like, what? Trading? What is this? Obviously, done my due diligence, research, contacted her, and I ended up doing the same course that she did in Canary Wharf. And in Canary Wharf, there was this big boom in London where all these trading companies were coming up. So anyway, this course was just a very basic, now that I look at it, it's a very basic support and resistance scoping course, but at the time you sort of get sold a dream, you're gonna live this lifestyle, be financially free, and the traders in this Canary Wharf office, they were showing the lifestyle, right? They were showing all the fancy suits, the Rolexes, the 5-10K a month offices. I thought, okay, I'm in the right place. Long story short, after I'd done that course, just backtesting, trading live, I thought I was shit. After 6 months, I went live with some decent trading sort of history on a demo account. I thought, you know what, I'm ready to take on the world. I ended up taking a 10K investment from a close friend of mine, and within a week, I basically blew it. So that was a bit of a slap in the face. But
did they have 10K to throw away?
Yeah, he did. That's why he obviously gave it to me. He's like, okay, Diego, and I was showing him, look what I can do. I can do this for you, right? But this is all sort of demo, and I was showing him in real time. Look, the market's going to come right here. I'm going to buy it here, sell it here, take profit. And I was just doing that for 2 weeks every day in his house, just showing him, look, I'm a decent trader. And then he offered me, what can you do for me? I can flip your account, don't worry. He gave me the 10K in installments, and I just blew it within a week or two. And that really humbled me. And I was like, whoa, I felt so tiny. I was so humbled. So after that 6 months of just going through that sort of struggle, so I started in 2014, around 2014 to 2016 now, that's when I sort of knuckled down and I studied a lot. So I had done so much research online. done seminars. I spent so much time on YouTube, reverse engineering all the top traders on YouTube. Because back then there was this big boom of just traders just popping up in YouTube. Before it was whatever was on YouTube, but there was this big boom in London, specifically in London. All these top traders showing the lifestyle, showing withdrawals, like real traders. I was like, wow, okay, how are they doing it? So they used to do these weekly analysis, and I'll just break it down. I'll press pause on the YouTube, then I'll go back to my chart and I'll just copy the analysis. And then after a while, I managed to crack it somehow. Maybe it's because my background, something I've always been passionate about, and something that's really good to have as a trader is having a bit of a sports background, because you get that competitive nature. And also I used to play games when I was younger. So when you're playing games, you're sort of, you're cracking the levels. It's the same with trading. You need to crack all these levels. Where am I at? Where am I at? So yeah, YouTube, trading. So once I started to reverse engineer all these strategies, and I implemented it into my own, and I don't know what I called it, but I just had my own strategy. And the thing with trading, you want to get strategies from other traders and just make it your own, because you can't really just make up a strategy and like you're just some scientist. You need to take it from somebody else and make it yourself. So I done that, and I started posting on Instagram just as a personal journal before and after. I was okay, I'm looking for this trade, then I'm going to exit here. And I just had this big journal of my Instagram of that's where my journal was at. It was on Instagram. So then some people started messaging me, oh, do you teach? And I was like, no, I'm not going to teach. I'm not making money myself. I'm not going to teach anyone if I'm not making money. I'm not ready to teach. But there was one or two people in particular that just kept on just harassing me in a good way. Please teach me, please teach me, please teach me. And I'm like, I was like, no. And then I just thought, you know what? I'm going to teach you, but I'll do it for free, because, I'm not going to take money when I'm not making money myself. Taught them for free. They made some decent results. And I thought, okay, decent. And it's quite good. It's quite fulfilling that when you teach somebody a skill, they can start implementing it themselves. So long story short, after I was doing all this teaching, more people started messaging me, because I took a picture of me teaching the student. And then all of a sudden, I must have got like 20 DMs just messaging me, oh, do you teach? And I ended up teaching
in-person teaching, or like
in-person teaching.
Right.
In-person teaching. I used to drive up to the house and teach them in their house or in a cafe. And I'll just teach them. And I literally managed to teach around 40 people in a space of one summer, made around £20,000 because I was teaching for £500. So that was like my full-time job, just teaching.
That's a decent money for when I was living in London, I think I was on 15k or 25k at the end of my tenure there a year. So you were what, £500 for each session, or
£500 for a session for a 3-day one-to-one course, just for myself, and I'm just teaching them in just everything from top to bottom.
Yeah. Damn. So you were making some decent coin on the teaching.
I was, but I was always telling them, look, I'm not making money myself. I don't really have a track record, but I can teach you. And this is why it was so cheap. But the value was quite incredible, because the strategy that I was teaching them, it was probably worth around $2-3 grand from the actual courses that people were paying for it. But because I reverse engineered it, I made it a little bit better.
What was it? Can you sort of describe what it was made up of? Because I believe that you're not using that method at the moment, right?
Oh, no, wait. That's a very retail method.
Yeah, so what was it?
It was made up...
Yeah.
It was made up of literally Fibonacci and structure. That's it. Very simple, but with certain confirmations and price actions. And that was it. It's a very basic strategy that most traders probably trade now. Just Fibonacci and structure, A, B, C, D legs, and just reading candlesticks. Just a very basic retail method, which is profitable. The average risk reward was probably like 2-3 hours at the time. So yeah, all the teaching, it really helped with my development as well. Because, when you teach, you sort of, you become better as you teach over the time. with that 20K now, I mean, I was quite young, but I can't remember how old I was. I was probably 24, 25. Anyway, with that 20K, that just went like an idiot. That thinking now, I'm like, wow, that just went to lifestyle, holidays, just silly stuff. Did I invest any of it? No.
Did you pay your mate back, or you took 10K off? Was he going with for 10K?
No. I actually didn't. I should have, but it came in installments, and I just spent it immediately when I got it. And it's not like I saved up 20K, because if I did, I'd be like, oh, hold on a minute. Oh, here's your 10K, because I was spending every time. It was just one of those things.
Okay, so you're teaching these guys, you're learning it as you're going. So how did things progress from there?
So it was probably around 2016 to 2017. From that 20K, I remember I had around $1,000 left. And with that $1,000 left, that was more or less my last lifeline in trading. So with that 1K, I decided to open up a live trading account, because I was actually trading demo at the time. And I was making sure, I was telling everyone, look, I'm trading demo. I'm not really making money off trading that you might believe. I'm just a really good technical analyst, fantastic forecaster. Big difference to an actual trader, right? So with the 1K that I had left after that 20K that I made and splashed out, I built a track record with that 1K. And that track record lasted for probably 1, maybe even 2 years, like a proper track record. 2016, 2017, that was a bit of it was a funny time period, since I was working in Amazon as a delivery driver. So, I need some form of income. The teaching stopped. I was working in, while I was in Amazon as well, the whole day from morning to night, I was just listening to trading podcasts. So many trading podcasts. Which one is Trade?
You were probably listening to my podcast by the sound of it.
I should have.
I think I might have been around in 2016, 2017. Yeah, it definitely would have been around. Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it called?
52 Traders.
52 Traders? No. But I wish I did. I mean, your channel's amazing. You've got all these traders coming in.
It was a great podcast.
Traders. That's I just remember Chat with Traders.
Yeah, Chat with Traders.
I've listened to everything on that one. Where was that? Yeah, so when I was working in Amazon, banging out Chat with Traders, also, that was my day job. I also had a night job in HSBC, where I was dealing with the deliveries, the night deliveries at the time. And sometimes I even had to quickly just clean the desk of the trader's desk, right? And I used to see the charts. I was like, oh, wow, like, what am I doing here? I should be sitting down there, right? But, I had this mindset of with trading, it was more like a life or death sort of mentality. There was completely no plan B in sight. I did not think about media. I did not think about getting just a basic job. I did not think about getting a new course. It was trading, do or die, and that's it. And I just had that mindset. So while I'm working these jobs, I'm also networking and working for other trading companies that are just coming up. I help them do a course. I'm doing some technical analysis for them. So I'm just all over the place in 2016 to 2017 I just know for a fact trading is going to be my number one goal. And that is it. There's ups and downs in everyone's journey.
And what did you do with that track that you said you did a 1 to 2 year track on that 1K account? So where did it end up?
That ended up in a very interesting place. I'm gonna get into that because I've got everything in my head just in otherwise I'm just gonna forget a large amount. But the track record basically helped me land a prop fund where I was managing 6 figures, and then a hedge fund where I managed to close. The track record. It basically. How can I explain this? We closed 400 million, but I left that company, which I'll get into in more detail. So in 2017 to 2018, this was the time when I was doing the whole Amazon as well, HSBC. I met my girlfriend, which lasted like 6 months back then. And that ended quite quick because, I left these jobs to open up a hedge fund with one of my friends because of the track record I had, right? But because I left these jobs and I'm in the process of opening up this hedge fund, I've got no finances. So, my girlfriend at the time was like, what are you doing? I'm like, look, I'm trying to open up a hedge fund. This is my vision. I just don't have money right now. And it just had to end because it was a big distraction, right? So that more or less just ended. So when I opened up this hedge fund with one of my friends, that was also somebody that I met through this trading journey, he has a really, really big network. And he managed to literally get me a trial of 500K from 5 different investors because of the track record that I had. Now, I've never traded that much in my life. So when I started to trade that, I was break even for a long time, and I ended up just gradually losing because my mindset, I was not prepared for that at all.
What was the most difficult thing? Why was it so hard to jump from 1,000 to, it's a stupid question, but from 1,000 to 500,000, $500,000? Why was that so hard?
I think you're answering it for me, but it was so hard because I'll get emotional when I see, if I see a loss of, let's say, 1%, and it's what's 1% of 500,000, it's like
5,000 or something.
It's like
5,000,
yeah. And there's all this pressure that if I don't make it here, then I'm not gonna make it as a trader. And I had to trade into a certain level where, yes, I backtested and I journaled my trades, but not in detail like I am today, right? And I just wasn't ready. I was not ready to trade 500,000 had I passed that anyway. So I was lucky it was a trial. So in that time as well, in 2017, 2018, while I was doing that, I also, with the same track record, it was a pretty decent track record of a really low drawdown. It was around, it was literally around 200% in a year and a half with like a less than a 5% drawdown. So that was really attractive. And it was very consistent. But the difference is it's a very small track record. It's the monetary value is £1,000, right? So it's quite easy to manage that, but it's still a track record. So, when I done these sort of meetings, I just blanked out the money value and just said, it is my track record. You don't need to know how much it is. That's private. Just, the stats are there if you want to take it or not. That was more or less the gist of it. Where was that at?
So can I ask how what are the logistics around getting a $500,000 account to trade on a trial basis? How do they actually make that happen?
So with this friend of mine, because of his network and his previous industries, he already has a lot of people that are high net worth clients that are part of the broker and whatnot. So he'll just message them and be like, look, you're not really profitable in your account, right? You're not really profitable. You're just blowing your account, but I've got a trader who can trade. Would you like him to trade for you? And that's how the partnership more or less came in together.
And were you traded like a MAM or a PAM or something like that to place the trades?
See, but back then I don't think the MAMs existed, or I just wasn't aware of them. It was all individual accounts. So it's a big mess, having to trade individually 100,000 and then trying to trade my 1K. It was just all over the place. It was a headache. And it's good that it never excelled from it, because I did not deserve to be a trader. I was not ready at all. So from around 2017, 2018, okay, so from 2018 onwards, now that I've got this track record, I'm becoming a better trader. That's when I landed this job in a hedge fund, right? So with this hedge fund, I came in as a senior trader with my track record, with some charts. They needed a technical analyst and a trader. I managed to sort of fit both. I managed to just fit both roles. And within this hedge fund, which is the one where I introduced Rodrigo into it, and later he introduced me to CTI, so it's quite funny. Oh, and I introduced him to the prop firm in Surrey. Did I mention that? Did I mention that one?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay, see, I must have missed it. So in 2017 and 2018, when this hedge fund, the 500k trial, when that didn't really proceed, and it wasn't just the 500k, it was the licenses. I forgot to mention that. It was the licenses that was really complex. Right, I needed to get this license, study this finance. It was a headache. I just thought, no way, I'm not doing this. So we just scrapped that. But within that year, around 2017 to 2018, with that track record, one of my contacts that I also contacted in this journey, one of my network friends, he had this job in a prop firm, and he said, oh, look, I've got this trader who's a decent trader. So I went to the office in Surrey, really amazing sort of mansion office looking building, showed him a track record, had the interview. Next day I was in the office. I was like, oh, wow, this is really happening. I'm going to a prop firm to trade real money. And literally they gave me 100,000 live account to trade. And I was like, okay, wow, okay. And I was in this really, really good fancy office. And you can see on my Instagram, if you check out the office is right there as well. It's funny. It's really, really good office. So in this prop firm, that didn't last long. It lasted probably 6 to 9 months. I was trading the 100,000, which is fine. But the problem now, which the reason that I left was mainly because they wanted to change my trading style to be like a high frequency scalping trader, right? Which is not my trading style. I was more or less just an intraday / swing trader at the time. So they wanted me to become this high frequency scalping trader to pay for the office, pay for all the wages, because you're making so much money from the lot sizes. So I'm already not in my comfort zone. It's like telling Cristiano Ronaldo to go and to be a keeper or to go in defense. It's just not going to work, So that was a bit of a struggle. But the funny story with this prop firm, they were looking for traders. So I said, oh, you know what? I know a really good trader. Now, this trader was the same trader. So I'd done this course in 2014. Remember the traders that had this fancy lifestyle, the CEO, there was the show and everything. I managed to introduce that trader to this prop firm, and he was basically working in this prop firm. And long story short, so many traders came in managing the same account. It was a big mess. And in my trades were actually quite consistently slowly going up in profit, but the other traders were just losing it. And it was a mess. So it just didn't really work out, having all these strategies. And there were scalpers, swing traders, gambling. It was just a big mess. So I just ended up leaving that prop firm in 2018. 2018. So around just at the end of 2018, that's when I got into this hedge fund, like a proper hedge fund in London with the offices in Dubai.
At that point, would you say you could actually trade? You were like, comfortable making money on a regular basis, or were you still going, well, can't really tell because everyone else is dipping into the 100K, losing the money. I can't really tell if I'm profitable or not.
I would say I could tell I was profitable because I was quite consistent with the gains. But saying that, at the time, I'm thinking, yes, I'm profitable. I've got this. But then the next month, I become a better trader. Then the next month, I become a better trader. So I'm constantly improving. So I was lying to myself. So even now, now it's a different story. But back then, you would think you're a profitable trader, but when you realize, oh, wow, I've learned so much in the space of 6 months, you've developed so much, you just keep on improving. It's really hard to explain. You might think you're profitable, but then you forward down a year down the line and you're 10 times a better trader. So that was more or less what happened. So then when I got this role in this hedge fund, I came in as a senior trader. Long story short, I built a track record with them as well. And that managed to close a £400 million investment, right? Which was quite incredible. Now, I didn't really trade. That was with my track record that we closed a £400 million investment. But the 400 million is not something that all of a sudden I'm trading 400 million. No, it's in installments. So first it's 50K, then 100K, and it gradually went up to 800,000. Well, no, just under $1 million. And I'm making some decent money there, just for the first, I'm living the life in Mayfair in London, just with Rodrigo as well, my cousin, we're just living life, amazing. We're just in that trader lifestyle, but then it became really normal. We see Ferraris around the corner, all the Arabs is walking around, because Mayfair is the central of hedge funds anyway. There's all the biggest hedge funds are in Mayfair, and all these fancy restaurants and whatnot. But then it just became part of the normal lifestyle. Every day was just the same. We go to the gym in the morning, come to the office, analyze, trade, go home, call it a day, gym in the evening as well. Quite boring, but quite consistent. And these were the times where I also met my wife, which is my girlfriend, which turned into my wife right now. And when I left this, the reason I'm mentioning her is it relates to the story. So when I left this hedge fund now, the reason I left it is there was no room for growth. The fund manager was closing the trades. The profit share wasn't fair. There's just no room for growth. Even though the money was pretty decent, we're not growing. We're just, we've got chains, and there's a big anchor behind us just holding us, for our development. So Rodrigo ended up leaving first because he more or less sort of just saw the signs a bit early, like, look, we need to leave now. And fair enough, he left. I sort of stayed for another 3 months, but Rodrigo ended up with the strategy that we developed in this hedge fund, because we had a mentor at the time in this hedge fund based in Holland. He was already trading 100 million, trading smart money concepts with a mixture of some other stuff and whatnot. But we developed not only a smart money concept strategy, but we implemented the patterns that I've also developed over the years, and we just backtested the hell out of the strategy. I'm talking 12 hours a day, just all day for months, just backtesting while we're trading live, and we're just improving. So Rodrigo left, and with that strategy that we developed, he passed CTI in like 2 months. Then I left. I left this hedge fund. So when I left this hedge fund, now, number one, I've got no track record myself. Now that track record belongs to the hedge fund. I don't have no income, don't have any job, basically starting from zero again. I've basically got zero money to my name, right? So I basically left with zero again. But again, same mindset does not mean anything, because I know at the end I'm still going to be a trader 100%. So when I left the hedge fund, because I had more or less zero money to my name, and I wanted to start again, do my own business and trade, and somehow that's when I moved into Sweden, lived at my wife's parents' house. That's how deep it got. I ended up going to my wife's parents' house. Imagine how she feels. But we were there for like... what
happened to the money that you made in the hedge fund? Did it just all get squandered in Mayfair?
Yeah, more or less, yeah. But more or less it got squandered in Mayfair, but 80-90% of it, I was investing it into crypto at the time. So all that money just went into crypto.
And you didn't want to touch it.
And that's just, even now I don't touch it. It's just, it means nothing. It's just an investment, 5 years, 6 years. I don't even touch. Don't even think about that. So that's the thing. I've got zero to my name, but at the time I had a massive crypto portfolio that I invested in, but it means nothing because I'm not touching it. So I went to, and she was fully aware of it. She's like, okay, we have nothing. We're not touching that crypto portfolio. We're going to have to go to Sweden. Obviously, if I start to withdraw from crypto, then I'm just shooting myself in the leg 5 years down the line if I start, maneuvering. So that's why I'm sort of thinking 5 years ahead. Crypto in the long run is what's going to make you a bit more comfortable than the current situation. So I went to Sweden. She gave birth there as well. So I do have a 2-year-old son now. And in Sweden, since I had zero to my name, I'm not touching crypto. She helped me a lot with investing in sort of psychology courses and prop firms, which I ended up passing an FTMO account back then, to be honest. And that was keeping me sort of stable in Sweden. And when I came back here, and when I came back to the UK, that's when Rodrigo introduced me to CTI. And long story short, I became the the senior coach, performance coach, a portfolio manager, and now I've got my BLT course with Rodrigo as well in CTI, which is the strategy. All these 8 years of trading and everything I've learned in the hedge fund has all turned into this killer beast strategy that now is for the community. And like I went live on your live stream the other day, there was a live chart and I took it. It went up to 10R in the end, and it's a proper professional strategy, and I just love it so much. And that's it. That's more or less where I'm at, and I'm at CTI now, and I love it.
It's a crazy journey. I think to have that experience across the course of those 5 or 6 years, whatever it's been, is just amazing. Like in terms of hedge funds, prop firms. Trying to create your own hedge fund. I suppose we're probably only getting like the icing on the cake here before, we're not getting the full meal of everything that went on there to really get our heads in it. So I'm probably just going to throw in one question here and say, I mean, what lessons did you learn that you can pass on to the guys listening from all those years? If you had to sort of sum it up into like maybe 1 or 2 lessons, maybe even 3, what would they be that you think was so beneficial that somebody else can walk away and go, okay, well, I could probably somehow try and replicate that?
Okay. I think one of the lessons that I learned is it's a lot easier if you've got some form of an income, so you don't stress about trading. I was quite the opposite because I had so many gaps where I wasn't trading. I mean, I mentioned a few jobs, but most of the time I wasn't trading. I never had a real income. So trying to trade live and trying to make it as a trader when you've got no income is really, really hard. So if you have an income, that's going to help a lot with your psychology. And if you're doing these prop firm challenges, don't have this mindset of I'm stuck in the 9 to 5. No, it's just a vehicle to help you pass a challenge that's going to help you in the future. So having an income is important. You need to really back this a strategy. Because my strategy it's been developed so much over the years. And now it's just one very specific entry. So when I mean you need to back test a strategy, and I say this so much to my students, it's most traders that have a strategy, they back tested it, but it's not enough. For example, if you're a support trader trading a bullish engulfing at support and you've back tested it, the risk reward is X amount and the win rate is X amount. But then you go to trade in the live markets and all of a sudden you've got fear, you've got hesitation, you don't feel confident, but you still take it because it's part of your rules. But the reason for that is because you haven't really backtested it. So what I mean by that is you need to backtest all the variables of how does price approach your support? Is there a consolidation range before the bullish engulfing? How big is it bullish engulfing? How big is the pin bar? Is there a bit of a fake out? What time of the day are you trading? What currency pairs works best with it? What's the distance between the bullish engulfing and the support or the range? And then once you got all this data out and all the different variables of engulfings, whether it's a big one, a small one with a large wick, you need to basically filter everything out and just stick to the one that is really high profitable and just trade that one. Because once you trade only that one, then when you trade the live markets, the ones that made you feel hesitant, you've already removed that from your arsenal. So you're just trading the one that works, and psychology becomes so easy, and it just becomes repetition. And that's it. That's probably the best advice I can give.
Back testing. Now, what if you had to sort of compare your trading now compared to like when you were at that, let's say at that prop firm with the 100K? What are the stats look like in terms of the difference?
I mean, with that 100K prop firm, my stat back then, I was averaging probably around 2R. It was a struggle. No, it was actually a struggle to get 2R on average. The win rate was probably around 40-50%. Now, the win rate, it can vary every week from 60 to 80% with an average risk reward of probably 10R and above.
Well, and I've only got 5R on the live stream, so we probably need to amend that. Okay, right. So a dramatic difference, and the main thing you attribute to that is what?
Is backtesting. So when I lived in Sweden for almost a year, and in the time of the hedge fund in Mayfair, I was probably 6 to 8 hours a day. I was just backtesting. And in Sweden, because I had nothing better to do, I was literally spending, no word of a lie, from 7 a.m. to around 9 p.m. So around 14 hours every single day, just backtested. I became a bit of an addict. It was a bit crazy, you know. I was just so, you know, it was make or break, you know. When you've been there and then you go back to zero, life humbles you. You know you can't stay there. So it's life or death sort of mentality. There's no plan B. And I spent literally 14 hours a day just backtesting. And it's like the training ground. You just need to keep in shape. That's what it was.
And were there any times like them? And I'm guessing there must have been where, you know, emotionally the back testing actually, you know, you had breakdowns or anything like that. Was there any sort of real low moments or real high moments?
With back testing, never really a low moment. It was more like it was mostly aha moments. Like I'll take a trade or I'll back test 12 months of data in euro between only the London session, for example. And then I'll realize, oh, this fine detail here is really good. Let me take this one out. All the other crap, I'm going to remove it. Then I'm like, okay, now I've filtered this out. Now let me try this in this aspect of euro. And I just kept on moving everything around. So I had patterns and I had channels at one point, triangles, head and shoulders. And I filtered everything out. And I realized that wedges work amazing with my strategy. So I just kept on filtering. It's just continuous improvement, really.
And from like a technical point of view of what software you're using and how you're recording the information, how was that done?
So I started with using an Excel sheet, and then I stopped doing that and I shifted over to Edwonk and then Notion, and now everything's more or less in Notion, and I do some backtesting on TradingView and simulations on Forex Tester.
Righty-ho. Okay, and were you using the replay tool in TradingView?
Yeah, the replay tool. So something I used to do with the replay tool on TradingView is I used to stretch I still do it now, stretch the screen so the candles just become really straight and you don't really see the data, and then go to a random day on the euro on like 2015 and then just backtest that, rather than going back to 2015 knowing exactly where there was a big rally to the upside. Then I already know, oh, I just need to be buying the market. You know, that to me, I feel like I'm just cheating. It's just not fair. So I'd rather go to a random market and just literally just proper freestyle it rather than knowing what's going to happen.
Cool. And if you had to summarize your strategy now that the BLT, I mean, how many trades would you typically take a week?
It varies between 1 and 4.
And how many instruments are you looking over?
I only trade and specifically trade the euro, so Euro USD, AUD USD, dollar CAD, and dollar yen. And the reason I only trade those markets is because I've backtested the time in Sweden, the 12, 14 hours a day, it went into basically this. So I backtested every single pound pair, euro pair, CAD pair, yen pair, Swiss pair. So if I'm backtesting all the pound pairs, you know, pound USD, pound New Zealand, pound Swiss, pound pound yen, pound CAD, pound, that's about it. There's like 5 or 6. So with all those pound pairs, I will backtest 3 to 5 years of data on all of them, right? And just really backtest and tweaking it. Then I'll do all the euro pairs, all the CAD pairs, all the indices, all the other markets. And I found that with the BOT, the 4 that I just mentioned, they work best. So I only trade those 4 pairs.
Right. Awesome. Now, what about your typical trading day? How's that structured?
So it normally starts just after I finish work. So when I say work, I mean, managing the BLT community and managing some trades. So once I've done the day, then I start planning for the next day. So for example, I'll break down the charts and I'll know exactly what I'm looking for and some personal tasks. So once I've done that, then I'll go upstairs, see the family, we'll go out. I'm starting from the wrong way. All right, so I'll analyze everything, preparing for the next day just after I finish work. So in the morning now, I'll get up around 6:30, around 6:30, 7, go to the gym, come home, and I've already got everything prepared that I prepared just after I finish work. And from probably 8, 9 until 5-ish, I'm just literally trading all day, managing some trades and managing the BLT community. Once the day is done, then that's when I start preparing for the next day. Then I'll have dinner, go out with the fam, take the son for a walk, come home, watch a movie, chill, and that's it really.
And when you say trading all day, I mean, how does that sort of work around? I mean, you literally sat there in front of the chart every single hour or minute of the day, or do you block it out somehow?
Yeah, So when I say trading all day, it means just being in sync with the market. So if there's a trade I'm preparing, like for example, I'm looking to buy the AUD USD sometime today if I get confirmation. So I'll be looking at the chart every hour for just a couple of minutes just to get in zone, updating the patterns, updating the bank levels, updating the imbalances, etc. And I'll just get in the flow of it while I'm managing the BLT communities and updating videos. And if I get an alert on the Aussie, then I'll quickly look at the Aussie again. I'll manage it. And if there's no signal, there's no signal. But if there's a confirmation and I get a signal to get in, then I'll enter the trade on all the other accounts as well. And then I'll just manage that. And then once there's more, if there's more alerts, then I'll take a screenshot, I'll record it, I'll journal it. And then once it's, depends if I take profit today, then I'll have to journal that. So it really depends on whether the trade has been closed or not. But really, when I mean trading all day, I just mean getting in sync with the market all day.
Okay. And what about like you personally, and back when you were starting the journey, going through it, do you think there are any like sort of different traits or things that you have going on from your personality point of view that make you different from other traders out there?
I think I used to play a lot of sports, specifically football. I love my football. Everyone knows me, and everyone that knows me, I love my football. I even tried to make it as a footballer at one point, and I passed this trial in some US scouting academy. Chelsea, yes, that's my UK team.
Oh, is it?
I love that one.
Okay.
Yeah, the team that I support growing up was Real Madrid, but I do love Chelsea. That's my London team. So I've always had this competitive nature where I don't really look at all the other footballers that might be faster than me because of genetics, or they might be taller or stronger. I've always sort of focused on my personal development. So something I used to do when I was younger, I used to take the football, take it to the park, and just work on my shooting and just shoot at the fence and just work on the technique. I used to watch football videos and just reverse engineer the way they take the shots. And then it got to the point where, oh, wow, now I've got this. Everyone knows me that when I take a shot, I'll probably score because I've tested it so much at the training ground. It's the same with trading. I've got this competitive nature where I just want to improve on myself. So as a trader, just constantly want to improve the strategy and myself. I don't look at other traders or what they're making. It's just literally just focusing on myself. That's more or less the trait that, that relates to me to trading. And maybe even playing video games when I was younger, you sort of want to pass the next level when you're breaking down the game, right? So that sort of muscle memory is the same with trading. You're sort of trying to, it's a big puzzle, When you have this gaming mindset, you want to unlock the puzzle. And the puzzle in trading that I personally believe is smart money concepts, right? It's the ultimate puzzle because that's where the big institutions are moving money around. And if you can identify where they are moving and exiting, you can enjoy some of the breadcrumbs. And dollar CAD was a perfect example. I saw that trade. There was an imbalance. There was lots of liquidity there, and I took it. And it went up to 7, 10R, and eventually 30R, but we only backed around 7R at a time. So, yeah.
Cool. Now, what about like somebody who's starting out, they're looking to get into trading. How do they get into trading? What's your sort of roadmap for them?
I think the best roadmap is don't do it the way I did it, because it took me 8 years to get here. The best thing to do is to find a credible course or a mentor. Once you can find that person that can teach you or a course, do the course, watch it 3 times, however long it takes. The first time, watch it, just absorb it. Second time, absorb it and take notes. The third time, absorb it, take notes, and pause the videos or the course or whatever and just do examples. And then after, just backtest the hell out of it. Just backtest. Go on simulations, go on real simulations. And until you become profitable in a simulation, then you can go live. And once you can go live, just contact one of the prop firms or CTI and just do a CTI evaluation, and that's it. That's the best advice I can give.
Cool. Awesome. Now, talking about a price chart, talking about smart money concepts, I mean, what 3 things would you recommend somebody go off and study on a price chart?
Based on smart money concepts or just overall?
Well, in general, like, I mean, you've obviously done the retail kind of methodology, smart money. Mm-hmm. What would you say? Go away and study these things.
I would probably say, study smart money concepts. I'll definitely say study that. It's just going to save you so much time. But saying that, you can't really just trade smart money concepts by itself, because there's a lot of traders that trade that anyway, and a lot of them struggle, right? So if you're going to trade smart money concepts, try and have a strategy that can implement it as a confluence. The way we do it is we use patterns to as a confluence. And when you use patterns, you can filter out all the low probability smart money concept levels and trade just the high probability ones. But if you have a strategy and it's a moving average crossover, use the moving average crossover to complement the smart money concept entry. So that's something I'd definitely advise for any traders.
Cool. Awesome. Now, what about from a mindset point of view? Do you have any sort of hacks that you've used in the past to get your mindset on point?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's a combination of a few things. So you need to, something that affects the mind is your routine, who you hang around with. Your diet is very important. You know, if you have like a big breakfast and then you go to the markets and you start trading, you're gonna crash. You're gonna get lazy, and you'll probably miss a few details when it comes to your technical analysis. And those few details can really cost you daily. So if you can, to have the mindset, you need all the pillars, right? You need a really, really good diet. You need to be working out. You need meditation to give your mind a break, because trading is very, very draining. So meditation, a good diet. You need to be watching the right stuff. You don't want to be going out and partying and then trading. You really need to be in the zone consistently. So not just when you're in the markets, but in general life. Even in relationships, if you're in relationships and you're constantly arguing or something bad's happened, it's going to affect your trading. So everything you do in life, it affects your trading. So everything is something I'll definitely advise on.
And are there any times when you just simply wouldn't trade, even now with what you're doing and the confidence level you've got?
Definitely. I mean, if I have broken sleep or if I sleep a little bit too late, I just won't even bother trading. Because I've journaled another thing, you have to journal your trades. It's where you find the information, you know, journal your emotions when you're taking a trade. And if you feel hesitant, analyze what's happening, backtrack the routine prior to that, and just really just analyze yourself. So in terms of when I wouldn't take a trade, if I haven't slept, if I've got broken sleep, I'm going to be a terrible trader. I know that for a fact, because I end up breaking the rules, risk goes out the window, and I just don't trade. Another time might be if if I've got so much going on, I've got so much work with BLT, and then there's all these tasks, and I just can't get in sync with the market. If I feel like I'm not in sync, even though there's a valid setup, I just don't trade. So I need to be in the zone. I need some time to be in the zone. I need to be confident about the trade and no distractions. So everything really, you need to be in the zone when it comes to trading.
Cool. Well, look, we're going to wrap up here with a few quick-fire questions. Some of them aren't that quick, but if you had to sort of summarize it, how long did it take you to go from newbie to consistently profitable?
It would probably 5 years. 5 years. 5 years I was, 5 years I was profitable. The first 5 years is trial and error. 5 years I was profitable. Around sixth to the seventh year, I became consistently profitable, which is a big difference. And 7th to 8th year, which is where I'm at now, is just consistency, just following the rules and the same setup every day.
And what about setups? What's your favorite entry setup?
My favorite entry setup has to be a pattern with a smart money concept level after a break of structure.
Nice.
With a fake out. So there needs to be a fake out, and I call it the boomerang.
Right. I do remember the boomerang. Now, what about strategies for exiting and managing trades?
It's the same. So like I said before, once you've mastered your strategy to the absolute T and you've got the same entry, you just need to flip it around and use that as your exit. So it should be the same. You don't want to have 3, 4, 5 different entry criteria and then another 5, 6 exit criteria. Everything just needs to be aligned and perfectly with one.
And what about a recommended resource or trading book?
Trading book. Funny story, I've never read a trading book to this day. The markets have been my number one trading book, just trial and error. Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. You tell a lie, I've listened to that as a podcast, but I've never physically read a trading book. So Trading in the Zone is a good one if I have to recommend one.
And what about your preferred broker and trading platform?
Preferred broker and trading platform, I like the one we use, which is CBT Limited, or one that I've had from way before all this big journey was IC Markets based in Australia that they've always been quite decent. That's where I've had my live track record before back in the day.
Hey folks, ever wonder what broker I use? Well, I use Hanko Trade. It was a no-brainer because I was looking for a broker with good trading conditions and one that wouldn't restrict my leverage. Now, by joining Hanko Trade, I've also cut down my trading costs significantly with their super low commission of just $1 per 100K. You can learn more at hankotrade.com or just click the link I've put in the description. And do you want to walk us through your worst ever trade?
Yes, I got it. Of course. Okay, this should have been in my story. So my worst ever trade was somewhere around 2016, 2017, around 2016, 2017. The friend that I found out that was trading, she was trading at the time. She got an investment of around 20K. But then, she needed help trading it because she saw I was doing pretty decent with my trading and whatnot. So we sort of came together and we took this trade based on a trader influencer on Instagram, and we just followed the signal with no risk management whatsoever. And at 20K, we basically blew it in that one trade, and that was really, really, really hard. That was tough. I was heartbroken. That was so tough. So yeah, that was my biggest, my worst trade ever.
Damn. Sorry to end the show on this. Could you leave our listeners with one piece of advice?
One piece of advice is just never give up. There is no plan B. And once you have a strategy, master one entry. Just master the one entry. Don't have all these millions different, if you're trading a Fibonacci at the 61%, for example, master the 61. I know how to trade a 61, and you don't trade a 61. You want to trade the 88 because everyone gets stopped out at the 61, but you need the data. And you just need to have one entry, one exit, one variable. Don't have 10 variables, 10 markets. Just be the master of one, basically.
Awesome. Great advice. Now, if you guys want to find out more from Diego, well, you can actually see him on the live streams here on Trading Up, but who knows when you're listening to this, it could be like many years in the future and you might not be doing that. So do you want to let the guys know what the best way is to get hold of you?
Yeah, so you can definitely check the citytradingsimperium.com website. So I'm there, or in the Discord community, and also the BLT course, which is also in the CTI website. But definitely I'll be on Discord all the time, which you can find me through the CTI website.
And what's your Instagram? Just so that people can go and check out that office.
My Instagram, I've changed the name recently. It's nft.defi.web3.
Okay, we might need to put that in the show notes, guys, so don't try and type it in because who knows who's out there trying to scam you. Look, a big thank you to Diego for sharing with us today. Everything we discussed here, along with all these links, are going to be in the show notes. To find them, simply search for Diego in the search box on tradingnut.com. Until next time, wish all my listeners trading happiness and success. All right, folks, there you have it. Interview done and dusted with Diego. Now, as mentioned at the start, we did shoot a video where he's done this before and after. So we've seen the before. I've seen the before. Haven't seen the after yet, but it was a 28R predicted trade. I think he was going to take initial profits at 8R. So let's see what happened with that. To see what happened with that, go and jump over to the YouTube channel. If you're not there already, have a look around. You'll find that video with Diego and it breaking down some of the techniques he uses, including the boomerang technique, which I can't remember if he talked about it in the show, but you're going to get to see a little bit about that as well. Do remember, you can catch these guys on the live stream, him and his cousin Rodrigo on the live stream, along with a bunch of other traders there. So if you're looking to fill up your trading week with some support, some ideas, then please go and check that out. Hit subscribe on that YouTube channel, click on that notifications bell and click all, and you'll get notified when those live streams go live. Last but not least, Robot Builders Club. Yep, doors are still open. If you want me to help you automate some or all of what you do, then I can do that at the Robot Builders Club. There's no coding required. You actually get 12 months worth of FX Streamer, which is the software we use to build. You get that included with your membership, and I'd love to see your creation, see what you can build, see what you can automate as part of your trading. All right, folks, enough from me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.